Well, good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful... You can hear Gerard. He is locked up in the house. Anyway, welcome back to my tiny retirement. I'm Christine. It's a bright, sunny, early morning, first morning of June. And it's been a little bit, so I thought I would come out and give you guys a tour of what has been going on around the tiny house homestead. Because we've been doing a lot, and we started to take the time to film everything, and we just weren't getting things done, and we decided to just, pull the plug on it. And when we got everything in, when we got a nice sunny day like today, I thought I would just take you around and show you what's going on so far and give you a tiny homestead update tour. For today, stick around and hang out in the garden with me, because I'm going to show you everything that we've been doing. I'm actually kind of amazed. Don't go away. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys, we had a really, our mailbox, I put in, and I literally pounded a stake in the ground and stuck a mailbox on it. Well, Mitch has fixed that, and so let's just start right down here at the doorway. Excuse me, I'm all sweaty and yucky. I'm not actually drooling down my chin. It's a little perspiration because it's muggy out. Not super hot, but muggy. So the first thing I want to show you guys is our mailbox. Let me see if I can find a good angle for you. Okay, so at least we have something. Those are little... I couldn't find any colorful pails or, little buckets, plant buckets or anything. So we were in Walmart and I found some beach buckets and I said, good enough. So there we are. And Mitch made that. I came home one day and Mitch, out of scrap wood and all of that, because who can afford wood now? And he made this. I don't think I've shown you this, but he made the planter. And we stuck pretty flowers in it. So there we go. Alright, so we're going to walk down the driveway. We have... Back up we go. And here is the start of Mitch's Road. And take a walk up Mitch's Road. So we're going to come up here and check. I don't know if you can fence. Check our grapes. Oh, yeah, they're looking beautiful. These are big, white, seedless something for grapes. And then over here with a similar... You hear the chipmunks behind me? Oh, look at these, you guys. These are pink champagne... tiny little grapes. Oh, and they're doing so well. Oh, they're doing so well. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to see if I can't give you guys... This is about the best view on the property. Okay, guys. Here we are at the back. Mitch is going to be expanding the flower garden. All of this right here, he's going to expand everything right out to where all of these little logs are. Whoops, you can't see me. Right there. There's the new arbor that I built. Yes, I did. I'll probably edit out a lot. And we didn't get any lace sources here that I'm aware of, unless it's too early. So we can see what we have going on here. So it's Paradise. And here we are going downhill. You can hear all the chipmunks and the birds. plants. All right, here's the orchard. Here's the orchard. Now, I don't know if you can see that wooden stake. Let me see if I can see it. Right there. It looks like there's a plant growing out of it, but it's actually a fern in the background. That is our pawpaw tree. One of our 2 pawpaw trees, and it's doing great. We left it outside because deer don't seem to bother it. Tree. And then up in the corner, we have our white crabapple, and they're all doing amazingly. So here we are. We're still on the road. You can see that the road goes up, and that pile of brush is where Mrs. Turkey was nesting. She has since hatched 8 of 10 eggs and taken all of her babies and left the 2 eggs for whatever reason. And we picked them up and put them in our coop because oftentimes we have a little bantam who will go broody. And we were hoping she would go broody and maybe hatch them. We'll see. All right, these right here. Mitch made these little teepee things. These are cucumbers. Cucumbers. And then cucumbers. And on the ground here, I had one lone little pea plant that I started over in his little tunnel. In Mitch's polytunnel, but I didn't really think it was going to grow. And so now, why waste it? We're not going to waste it. Over here, at the base of this stake, is a hazelnut. And we moved this over here because it wasn't really doing that well up on the hill, where, you know, by the gate, by the wattle fencing. So we moved it. And it's doing great. And there's a matching one. Yeah, if you look right through the teepee, you can see the orange tape on it. And all of these stakes and posts that you see are various squashes. I have a luxury pie squash, pumpkin, a luxury pie pumpkin that supposedly is even nicer than a sugar pie pumpkin. So we're going to see. We have butternut squash. We have a buttercup. I have an eggplant over there somewhere. These little short posts are where we put the horseradish. So we'll just walk over here. Over here, will you see this string? I have probably 500 beet seeds. And I'll be darned, every one of them is germinating and growing. It's a good thing we like beets, because I think there's going to be a lot. So, and here we are now. You can see we're still sort of in the squash bed part of it. But here's the view so far. And this is what 5,000 square feet of garden looks like. Not bad for a tiny house, is it? We're pretty impressed with ourselves. You notice I'm not being quite so quiet now because Mrs. Turkey is gone. And that's another reason we weren't doing a lot of filming. We didn't really want to disturb Mrs. Turkey. You know, I mean, I've given birth, and I know I didn't want to be disturbed. But right here, I have a little bench coming that I'm hoping to do a seating area. We've been kind of thinking, we've got this one big open section that I haven't done anything with. Whoops, hello. That I haven't done anything with because it's not really direct sun. This is the one spot in the garden that the best sun that it gets is sort of this speckled sunlight, speckled direct sunlight. Behind me, where the squash and the cucumbers are, later in the afternoon we get some really good direct sun. And out here in the front where our other vegetables are, right about 10 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock, we really get some, it is full-blown sun all the way until about 4. So we have a good full sun garden. Yeah, you can see where it's already, you see right here, the sun is coming over. It's already, you give this another 45 minutes and it's going to be full sun. So what we were thinking, anyway, back to my point before I walk off, I know I have a terrible habit of doing that. We're thinking of doing a, some sort of a gazebo or, you know, maybe just one of those screen houses that are temporary that we can move. The only issue I have is look right where it will be. This is where our compostable material, let's call it, comes out of our bathroom. You guys know what I'm saying. Now, while it doesn't smell, most of the time, there are times when Mitch comes out here, you see all of his buckets over there, when he is cleaning buckets and, you know, just trying to get the job done. Sometimes, I'm trying to think how to word this. Sometimes he will be not as neat as he should be, and it may spill a little outside of its designated position. I don't know how to say it without being gross. And then we do notice that we have a compostable toilet system. I don't know how to say it and be delicate. But anyway, we were thinking that right about here. Because see, look at our beautiful, see, look behind me. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. Other than that. And it would just be a nice place to just sit, have some dinner. You know what I mean? Just a nice place to come sit in the shade after we've been in the pool. It's not too far from the pool. Okay, let me show you the rest of what we've done. All right, so these are, this whole row of this string is all beets, but I did stick a couple of Brussels sprouts that, you know, they're kind of doing all right. These are Brussels sprouts I started, and they're kind of doing better in the pot than in the ground. Let me see if I can get a close-up. See, there's a Brussels sprout. But right next to it, can you see the leaf on the ground? Something's eating it. Probably one of those chipmunks running through. All right. These first two rows are all Amish paste tomatoes. And you can see that I put some Walla Walla onion starts in. And there are probably 25 onion starts. And I don't know how many tomatoes. There's probably 25 tomatoes. 25 tomato starts in each of these two rows. So probably 50 Amish paste. This row, let's see, third row over, this one. These right here, from seed, right in the ground, I didn't start them, I didn't do anything, are Opelka tomatoes. I wanted to try them because they are mostly flesh. You know what I mean? There's very little gel in them and very few seeds. And I guess the tomatoes are huge. They are the consummate paste tomato. So I'm trying them, and I really didn't expect any of them, you know, or many to germinate because I didn't give any special care. I didn't do anything really spectacular to them. So I planted probably 25, maybe 30 of them. Every single one of them has germinated. What am I going to do? Hold on. What am I going to do with all of those tomatoes, you ask? I am going to make tomato sauce. I am going to make tomato soup. I am going to make ketchup. I am going to make barbecue sauce. I am going to eat tomatoes until they come out my ears. What do you like to do with tomatoes? Especially when you realize, oh my gosh, I have probably 200 tomato plants when I really don't need 200 tomato plants. What do you like to do with your tomatoes? Okay, so here we go. The last row in my tomato section. All right, this is the last row in my tomato section. We'll start right down here at my feet and work my way up. This is probably 50 feet long too. Just to give you a frame, each of these rows is probably 50 feet long. And I've spaced them apart pretty well, I think. And yeah, I know, that's our watering system. We have another post just like that down with the squash. I know you're not supposed to water them from overhead, but this is what we have. And this is what I'll use. So, for now. So, what we have here, I don't know if you can see, in the first set of spikes with the string around it, right there, those are potatoes. Those are Kennebec potatoes. Those are Mitch's favorites. There's no loose soil. I'm not sure. I don't hold out a lot of hope for them. But we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see, you know, they say potatoes you can just throw on the ground and walk away. We'll see. But anyway, here we go. This first row this is peppers. You see this raised mound right here? Peppers of various kinds. I have paprika peppers. I have hot cherry peppers. I have jalapenos, which are the jalapenos that don't have any heat. I have some plain old green peppers. I think they're King of the North green peppers. I'm pretty sure I plant, and they're just a couple of each. I'm just trying them. I'm not very experienced with peppers, so there aren't many of those. This right here is going to be herbs. The first section of that is, I have a row of basil. I have a row of tarragon. I may have 2 rows of rosemary. I have summer savory. I've never grown summer savory, so that'll be interesting. And then the rest of these are green beans. Oh, look at Mrs. Robin. Can you see Mrs. Robin up there? Oh, and look, there's more glass. I'm telling you, you guys, the glass that we found, we found so much glass. I mean, I had a 13-gallon kitchen trash bag full of broken bottles, old bottles, mostly beer bottles, beer cans. So, I mean, and they were old. They were old. It's not like somebody just dumped, you know, stuff and had parties here. It's like this I think, probably 30 years ago, may have been a teenage hangout. And who knows, maybe my grandfather was one of them. He used to come over here with his buddies when he was a young man, over here to Wayne, over in the desert area, and sneak themselves a few beers. But that was back when there was no drinking age limit. You know, I mean, we're talking a long time ago. But at any rate, this is one reason why, and I know people are going to ask, they're going to say, why didn't you just get a tiller? Why didn't you just get some, you know, we got the excavator in here, and it didn't take us long to realize we had a lot of trash. And yeah, we could have just done an excavator, but my fear is that I am going to stick my hands in one of my potato mounds to feel around to see what there is in there for way of potatoes, and I'm going to end up with 10 stitches. So this first year, you got it. You got it. Everything's being done by hand. We're getting a rake in here, our eyeballs, our bare eyeballs, and we're getting out as much glass and trash and all of that as we can. Our plan is in the fall to go to our local cattle farmer. He's already said, oh, you want cow manure, you come and get it. So we're going to take him up on it. We're going to go in the fall and get some cow manure. We're going to till everything under. We'll rent some more heavy equipment, get a big honkin' tiller, because we don't have heavy equipment. We're pretty much just starting over again. And starting over for the first time on a significant amount of land. We've never had more than 1.5 to 2 acres of land. And now we've got 6.5, 7 acres. And I know that's not a lot for a homestead, but for us, it's the world. It's the world. So we'll get all of that stuff at some point. But anyway, the plan is in the fall, when we've done all of our produce, we're not going into the winter and do winter gardening and fancy stuff just yet. But we will till everything under. We'll get a good layer of cow manure on everything. We'll come in the spring, till it up again. If it needs it, we probably will do it, just for the sake of working the soil for a year or two. And then after that, I'm pretty sure we can just do things by hand, maybe get a small hand tiller. We'll see. So that's why we're doing things by hand, in case anybody's wondering. And I know somebody's going to ask. But that's why. The first year of a garden, you really sometimes just need to get your hands in it. And this was all forest and wooded, so we have a lot of vines and leftover stumps. Back to the garden tour. I have 6 mounds of several different kinds of green beans. And in each of these mounds is 2 rows. So the rows are 13 feet across. You do the math. The rows are 13 feet across. And I planted my green beans about 4 to 6 inches apart. So you do the math. There are 12 rows at 13 feet divided by 4 to 6 inches, and that's how many green bean plants I have. The reason that I planted so many green beans is because quite honestly, I didn't have high hopes for anything germinating, and that is my own lack of self-confidence. I honestly, even after last year, the saddest garden ever, go watch it compared to what we're doing now. Even last year, we got food, we got produce out of just straight sand and me doing very little to it. Well, this year we've actually, fertilized and fed, and there's, I've got feed in with, I've done some amendments, and we're doing all right. But anyway, my green beans have always, no matter what the rest of the garden did, I could always count on green beans. And so I thought, well, if I have nothing, I'll have a lot of green beans that I can put away, and we'll get awful sick of green beans, but we'll have them. So that's why I planted so many, because I'm trying to set myself up for at least some kind of success. And there's nothing wrong with that.